Hi. What do you think? Isn't this so cool the way it gets the light? It's kind of like a star, only I can hold it in my hand. It's Marilyn Price with the Mentor Project. This is week 2 of honoring Eric Carle, a most amazing writer and illustrator. This particular story that we're going to tell today, I like to see through rose-colored prisms. It's a prism, piece of glass, a crystal actually, that has been beautifully modeled and fashioned. And I hang it in my window so when the sun comes in, I get all sorts of beautiful refracted light. So I thought I would bring to you the star. Eric Carle wrote this story after he had a dream. So, does anybody out there have dreams? I do, and I can usually remember them too, which is really way cool. So, but not everyone can, and I don't know that it's a great gift, but I do know that it's always amazing to have them with me. So what we're going to do is I've asked you to bring along pencil and paper or marker or pen or whatever it is you draw with, and a blank piece of paper, like me. And what I didn't ask you to do is to bring along a puppet to draw too, but I thought I'd show you a buddy of mine who's not yet a buddy, just a plain old puppet, cloth puppet. You can get them on a variety of different websites. You can sew them. They're really kind of simple. Let me hold them up so if you want to somehow or another take a screenshot and take 2 pieces of material and you would have this sort of ghost-like looking puppet. So what I'm going to do though is create an artist for us to draw the story with. So while I'm talking to you a little bit about this wonderful book called Draw Me a Star. So there's lots of stars in our world, right? The ones up in the sky and the ones who we honor, and the people that are stars to us, but not necessarily stars to anybody else. So this is what I've done. I've drawn these 6 lines, 3 in the front, 3 in the back. And if you are on the podcast and you can't see, you can always go to our YouTube page. So, and then see what it was that Marilyn was doing. So I'm drawing a star, my hero of our story, who is the artist, who is telling the story. So he's going to be really, really simple because I don't want to spend your precious time when you could be hearing the story. So if you don't have an artist to tell the story with a puppet, you can tell it by drawing the story, which is also one of my favorite things to do. So you know what happened? I know you don't because you can't see it yet. Sometimes, like the stories, the puppets and or the stories take after what we've done, like the dream that Eric Carle had, or some of my characters end up looking a little bit like me. This one doesn't have earrings, so here's the puppet. Very simple, very plain. I didn't put on my usual puppeteer black, but what I'm going to do too, in case you ever do this, or encourage you to do this, is they are pretty pale, my puppets, because that's the material that takes all color, which I think is a great message. So I take the makeup that I use and I just go over the face parts, and it works really, really well. You'll be kind of amazed and surprised and hopefully delighted when you see what happens when you take powdered makeup. Not a lot, otherwise you're going to make a mess. Oh, and by the way, if you don't generally wear makeup, remember to ask whoever it is you borrow, because it's not really borrowing. You're not going to be able to give it back once it gets on the puppet character. So I will show you the side that I didn't put makeup on and the side that I did, and you'll see the difference. So here, this is the way it comes, and this is what happens when you put a little powder on. Looks lovely, eh? So here he is, or she. You she or he? You're okay. You're fine. Thank you so much. Would you be willing to help me out? Thank you so much. So this is my character, and this is how it's gonna go. I showed you a pad of paper, just because I don't have a table in front of me, and I'm going to give my character the opportunity to draw just like you, okay? And he, she, puppet, let's just call it puppet. Puppet is going to draw as we go along. So, and I'll tell you one last thing. often I dedicate, like Eric Carle does, stories to people. This one he dedicated to his father, and but the dream that he actually talked about his grandma, because every single Eric Carle book, I'm pretty sure, the long ones especially, have a letter to the readers. It's called, and this one he says, "Dear friends." So I'd like to read you and show you the star. So I'm going to step to the side so I can draw you what he did when I'm over. So if you are looking at me now and I looked like I've disappeared and turned into a marker, I haven't. I have just moved aside so I can draw for you the way Eric Carle describes the drawing of the stars. So I have a really good buddy who draws stars as whenever he goes to meetings, and the longer the meeting, the more stars on the page. And when he gets to the end of the page and the stars fill it up, he goes back and he decorates each and every one. So you can always tell how long the meeting was, and it has nothing to do with paying attention, you see. What it has to do with is the subject on the paper. So you will see that happen. Some people call it doodling. Some people call it sketching. My friend calls it focusing, and I totally applaud focusing. So this is the letter that Eric Carle wrote in the back of the book. Draw me a star. Dear friends, when I was a young child, my German Oma, means grandma, scribbled a star for me as she recited this nonsense poem. And I'm going to scribble it for you. So it goes like this. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words, and each of those words is emotion. So the first word is Cree, second word cra, third word croton, fourth word foos, fifth word guns, sixth word laughing, seventh word bear, and fifth word foos. So what does that mean? It means Cree-craw, toad's foot, geese walk, barefoot. That's how he started. That's what he remembered from his grandma telling him how to draw a star. It goes lots of different ways. Cree-craw, toad's foot, geese walk, barefoot. Cree-craw, croton, fuss, gansa, often barefoot. And then he tells us, the last summer on my vacation, I dreamed about shooting stars. The first stars fell into the valley of the distant hills. More stars fell closer and closer. Finally, a very bright star, like this one, fell directly on me, not hurting me at all. In fact, it felt pleasant, kind of tingly. After that, the star and I rose up and traveled across the night sky. I had a beginning for a book and an ending. The middle was easy. Sincerely, Eric Carle. So, my friends, for you, my friends, as Eric Carle said to you, this is a story of an artist, a dream, and all that is possible. So I'm going to ask my friend to draw. And when we're done, you know what? I'm going to show you what he did. Hoping you're drawing along with me. Got your pencil? Got your paper? Draw me a star. And the artist drew a star. Oh, great. It was a good star. Draw me the sun, said the star. And the artist drew a sun. Look at him go. It was a warm sun. Draw me a tree, said the sun. Oh, wow, it was. And the artist drew a tree. It was a lovely tree. Draw me a woman and a man. Oh, boy, I'm glad you're the artist and not me. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of artistic license here. And the artist drew a handsome couple. Draw us a house, said the couple. What'd you do with that one? And the artist drew a house for the couple. What comes possibly next? Oh, he drew a house. The artist said, that looks like a strong house. Draw me a dog, said the house. A dog? Said the house. And the artist drew a dog. What do you think? I think I'll put the dog in the house. Oh, yeah. Here he goes. Yeah, not the best dog I've ever drawn, but you get the idea, right? Draw me a cat, said the dog. And he did. Oh. Draw me a butterfly, said the bird. Draw me a flower. Whoa, let me catch up to you guys. Draw me a butterfly. And he did. Oh, so beautiful. Wait till you see it. Draw me a flower, said the butterfly. And he did. And the artist drew red and yellow and pink and purple flowers. Draw me a cloud, said the flowers. And he did. Draw me the night. And he did. And the clouds drew heavy rain. And the artist drew a dark, dark night. Let's see. Oh, pretty good, huh? Draw me a rainbow. And the artist drew a rainbow. And then he said, artist, draw me a full moon. And the artist drew him a full moon. Draw me a star. And he did. Down, up, across, down, up, and then one more. Down over left, and he drew him a star, so bright. It was a good star. Hold on to me, said the star to the artist, and together they sailed across the night sky. Look out, here they come. A dream of a story by Eric Carle. From a drawing to an idea to a flight in the night. Eric Carle lived a good life, a life that was good for us. He drew pictures that illustrated our world and people for a very long time, including special people like you, will always, always know how to draw. So my friend, the artist, just before you go, would like to share his story with you, his drawing. So when you get yours drawing done, and I'm hoping you do, and I will remind you, once you put pen to paper, it may not look like the best drawing you've ever made, but for me and for you, it should be. So find your drawings and tell a story, a star story. Maybe it'll go like this. The story may start with a star and then to the moon and do a sequence of telling. What Eric Carle did was he drew probably a good day in the life, and that's what you should too. It's like a journal. All the things that were beautiful to him, he drew on until he could take his flight through the night with a star. To Eric Carle, to my friends at the Mentor Project, and to my friends out there, like you, this is a story I hope you will read and tell along with so many others of his. This is the Mentor Project and Marilyn Price, especially thanking Aiden Weinberger and Jibby Jacobs, who puts us up on our podcast, and Tina Parker, and oh yes, you. Thanks for coming. This has been a great way to start the day for me, and hopefully for the stars that are in the sky and all around the world, like you.